What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. And if it's your first time here, just plain welcome. So, anything big happen over the weekend? Anything at all?
I refuse to stand idly by while I watch us waste once-in-a-generation change. And that's why here before the gun owners of America, I'm here to announce that I am running for Congress in District 23 to finish what I started.
So, that happened. I am absolutely thrilled to see it. I really wanted Brandon to win last time. I was very disappointed he didn't, but he put in a hell of a campaign. And I think that's a big chunk of why we can trust that he's going to do it again. He hadn't, the only way it doesn't work is if you shoot yourself in the foot, and he hadn't done that, figuratively or literally. But he did a video, it was on Pepperbox and here on YouTube, where he talks about some of the issues beyond gun rights, which obviously I'm going to back him on, because gun control is stupid. But another issue he specifically talked about was his support for legislation banning members of Congress from buying and selling stocks while in office. And God, that's music to my ears, because it's disgusting that people who are briefed on decisions that may affect different industries, briefed well before these decisions are public, are allowed to buy and sell stocks and not held to insider trading laws. It's wrong. If I had that same information and acted accordingly, I would go to prison. Nancy Pelosi didn't. She hasn't. She's buying and selling stocks all the time. You follow her trades, you're going to make a fortune. I mean, it's ridiculous. But that's how our system is broken. It's part of the way that people can go into public service with relatively modest means. Most of them aren't poor, but they're not hurting either. They're doing okay, but they're not like super wealthy. They go into public office and they leave ridiculously rich, and it's not based on their salary. They're doing shady stuff like this, and Brandon wants to end that. If I knew nothing else about the man, that would be enough. But I know more. In his video, he reminded us how Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, came to his district to campaign against him. Johnson is part of the establishment. He's a longtime member of the Republican establishment. And he would rather defend an establishment rhino, a Republican in name only, who will vote with the Democrats at least as much as he will his own party. He would rather see that person remain in office than an upstart who he can't control. Not that he can control Tony. Tony Gonzalez, again, votes with Democrats way too often. Especially on key issues like gun rights and illegal immigration. So, if I didn't know anything else about him, knowing that Mike Johnson had Tony's back would make me vote for Brandon. Now, unfortunately, I don't live in Texas, much less in that district. So my support has to come from Georgia. So I'm gonna. Down in the description, there will be a link to Brandon's campaign website, and it'll stay there from now until his campaign is over. Hopefully with him in Congress, but if not, well, we'll figure it out from there. That's the first part. Of course, I'm going to donate my own money. I can't make this big, splashy donation like a lot of YouTubers can because, well, let's look at my subscriber count and let's look at theirs. Yeah, I just don't have it. But I'm going to donate what I can, and I'm going to repeat that donation as often as I can. And next, I'm going to talk a little bit to Tony Gonzalez. A couple of years ago, when Brandon was running, Tony, you did some despicable shit. You took stuff drastically out of context. You tried to paint him as every kind of evil, knowing good and well he's not. I know this because Brandon talked about how y'all would meet for lunch. If he was as evil as you painted him, you wouldn't want anything to do with him. So I have to believe that you knew you were painting a good man in a bad light. So here's what's going to happen this time. I didn't pay enough attention to that campaign. In fairness, I was covering a lot of campaigns at the time. And I guess I just thought, even if you were a gun grabber, you'd at least be a decent person. You weren't. I'm paying attention now. And while this channel is small, I've got other platforms. I've got thousands of subscribers on my Substack. I've got Bearing Arms, where anything you say about guns is going to become a thing. Any attack you make on Brandon with guns is going to become a thing. And for everything else, I do contribute at Town Hall, which is one of the largest conservative political sites in the country. And now I get not every voter in Texas reads Town Hall. But there's a good chance they read something else, and there's a good chance a good juicy story is going to get picked up. I'm asking you to try it. And I'm warning you that when you do, I am going to have a fucking field day. Okay? Because I don't like you. I don't know you as a person. You might be fine. But your stances are disgusting, and the fact that you have the nerve to share a name with the greatest tight end in Atlanta Falcons history just irks me in unspeakable ways. So, I'm going to make it real clear. I've got Brandon's back 110%. I will do everything I can to support the man, to help him from afar. And honestly, I want to see him in Congress. And for the record, I want to see a lot of other people removed from Congress too, via the same means. If we want to make America great again, we got to start by making Congress functional again. We need people who will respect our right to keep and bear arms, who will respect our money, who will respect the sacred duty they undertake when they agree to represent us. In my opinion, Tony Gonzalez has failed us on all of those. Well, failed his constituents, and by extension, the rest of us. So have a lot of others. Let's clean house. And let's make Republicans afraid again. Let's make them scared to not do what they were elected to do. Now, I want to know, do you stand with Brandon? If you do me a favor. Go down in the comments. Tell me where you stand. Tell me you've got Brandon's back. While you're down there, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. I want to hear from you. And if you don't back Brandon, I want to know why. Tell me why he's not your candidate. Other than you live in a different district. Not everybody lives in that. I get it. But on that note, I am going to wrap it up before I start rambling. And I will catch you all next time.